Hello everybody, this is your girl Miss Queen Q, and I have some exciting news and information to teach you about how to write a book. It is the easiest way, and I'm going to do a breakdown for you right here and right now, starting today. First thing I want to talk about is a prelude. An action or event serving as an introduction to something more important. Okay? Sometimes people do a prelude in their book, which starts you off to give you a little bit about it and, tell you about certain events or something important they want you to know. Okay? This is not something that you have to have in your book. So just note that. But some people do start a prelude before they go into their chapters, especially with chapter books that have a lot of different stories, that are, it's a thicker book. Maybe as thick as this, or something as thick as this. Usually you'll see, preludes in books like these. Okay? Books like this. Usually you'll see a prelude in those. And that is, a prelude is an action or event serving as an introduction. So you can either have the introduction or the prelude that goes before the chapters. Usually it's in a thicker book, to something more important to get you ready for before you go into the chapters. The foreword. Usually you'll have people who have a foreword in their book, and in the foreword you'll have that go before the introduction usually as well. It's kind of like the prelude. It's kind of like the introduction. It's different. A few names that that you could do is something that you don't have to do. Normally they just go right into the introduction and then they go and break down the table, introduction, table of contents and stuff like that, or the table of contents, and then it'll be the introduction. So let me say that one more time. It'll be the table of contents, introduction, or they'll do the prelude, then go into the chapters, or, they'll do a dedication page, then the table of contents, then the introduction. But however you choose to do. Some people will skip over the foreword and the prelude and just go right into dedication or the acknowledgements. And then they'll go into the introduction, just like this book here. How to Walk a Tightrope in High Heel Shoes by Natalie C. Jones. Or like myself, in my book, you'll see where I'll go from the dedication page, and then I'll go in content, table of contents, and then I'll go dedication, and then I'll give you a little bit about the book here. It's kind of like, the acknowledgements and the foreword. And then the introduction. You see, there's a few ways that you could do it. And by the way, I am a book author also of The Overlooked Angels. Look me up on Amazon.com by Quatessa Williams. And then I have a little book for little children, The Little Fritter Counters, also on Amazon or Ex Libris Books, Barnes & Nobles, however, but this one is very well. The Little Fritter Counters by Quatessa Williams. Also, I'm also known as Miss QUEENQUS, which is my entertainment name. So you can look me up under either or, you will find me. Acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is kind of like the same thing as dedication. You know, you're letting people know about something or someone that you want to acknowledge who has been there for you through your journey, you know, while writing the book or either in your life period to get to the point of the greater you. Or however, you see them as somebody who's been blessing you somewhere, somehow, in what you have been trying to achieve in your life to get to where you are. Like I said, dedication is, you know, people who, same thing, kind of like acknowledgements. You know, it's the people, something, you know, something you want to acknowledge and dedicate towards your journey. Okay, next thing I want to talk about excuse me, is I want to talk about the introduction. What is introduction? Introduction is the action of introducing something, okay? Bringing something, especially a product, measure, or concept, into use or operation for the first time, or making someone know by name to another person, especially formally, or just bringing out something you want them to know before getting all the way into the chapters of what your book is about. I'm gonna read a little bit of my book of introduction. My introduction tells you about, I'm gonna just read a little bit. Because the introduction, I wanted people to really know what, you know, the person who I really love, that this book was mainly dedicated to. The entirety of the book was dedicated to my husband, my love. The entirety of the book. So I make sure I let them know that in the introduction before going into the chapters. Okay? So that's what the introduction is about. Like, you can pick whatever you want to pick on why you're introducing. You're introducing the entirety of your book to them in the introduction. I was going to read a little bit, but there's no sense in me really reading. It's just mainly you're going to let them know the entirety of what who, what, where, why, and you're dedicating this main introduction to where you want to let the readers know where this book is, the entirety of this book is about, and the love purpose of why it has been written. Okay, it usually goes in the front of the intro. I want to talk about the table of contents. The table of contents, a lot of times, you know, the table of contents usually goes in the front. Okay, right after the copyrights, information. It's usually right there. Okay. Table of contents. One thing I want to talk about, a couple of things I want to talk about with table of contents. And a lot of book critics, if they will really literally look at your book and they'll say, well, if it says dedication page, and it says pay the number, see how, okay, I'll show you. See how it says dedication? Page 4. Now, if I go to the dedication page and I see the number 4 there, I'm going to expect that the dedication page is page what? 4. Or if I go to your table of contents and it says, okay, introduction, page 10. You want your book to line up with the table of contents is helping people know where the chapters, the sections begin, so they won't have a hard time. Like once they read the title, they will know how to quickly find that chapter. They might be one of those skip around the book kind of readers. You will help them easily locate where these titles are to help them go ahead on and read, okay, introduction, page 10. So my introduction on the table of contents said page 10. So guess what? Page 10 is where it needs to be. Okay? Table of content help the people who are reading your book be able to easily get to that page and find that chapter, find that dedication, find whatever it is that they have to find, and it be easy for them to find it. Okay, that's table of contents. Chapters. Make sure with your chapters that you have, let's see, let's go into chapters. Okay, so chapter 1. Mine say angelic wake-up call. Okay? Angelic wake-up call. You see how it has a title? And then it has the page. Okay? And it also has 1. So, chapter 1, the title of the chapter. Chapter 1, angelic wake-up call, a name, a chapter title start off, then the chapter page number, the chapter, which number it is, chapter 1, the title, then the page number. Okay? Sometimes, usually, with chapter books, like if it's a thicker book, you'll see, for instance, let me see if I can find something. Some people don't have, chapter page breakdowns and all of that. They might have just the title of the chapter, and then they'll have the material, the text for you to read, and then you'll go to the next chapter and there's not a number. Some people do that, but most people, not saying it's a wrong way to do it that way. It's not wrong. It's not wrong to do it that way, but it's easier for a person to find it better when they're doing a table of contents with a page number and the chapter number and the title of that chapter. Most people do it that way, but you don't have to. Okay? Sometimes, let's see, I'm trying to find a book that will show you. Sometimes on that chapter title page, it'll be just the chapter title page with that chapter number, and then down below you won't see a number, but you know that the number, the page number is what's in that table of content. Even though you don't see it there, it still is lining up with that table of content. That number, even though you don't see it, you know that, okay, if it's page 10, It might not see it 10 there, but you know it's 10 because the next page is 11. Okay? So, just letting you know, okay? I really couldn't. Let me see if I can find it in this one. Like this. See how you see the chapter page number up here? You see chapter 7 and then the title. Then down here, you don't see a page number that starts that chapter. But guess what? You're not confused because the next page is 57. So you know this got to be 56. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay? So this is going to be my go-to help book today. Okay, I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Because I'm trying to show you with all the books I have on my desk right now. Let's see. Okay, for instance, make sure you have a title on your front cover that kind of relates to the picture. You know, don't have it all in left field and it doesn't got nothing to do with your title. Because some books confuse me. Like, you'll see the book and it ain't got nothing to do with the title and it'll throw you off. Maybe they have their reason why they picked it. But have a fun, somewhat fun, and some people say that the book has to be, it's good to have a professional looking book, but excitement draws people too. So make sure it's fun and exciting with your title, the picture, your name at the bottom. And also I want to talk to you about something else. Okay, let me do the back cover first. Back in the days, it used to be where a lot of people would put their picture of, you know, whatever picture that they had for themselves on the inside of the book. But truthfully, I think it is better because my other book has my picture inside the book. I don't think it's, you know, you live and you learn. Don't put the picture inside the book. Put it on the back or the front. Because a lot of times when people read a book, they want to identify the author with the person who wrote this book. And it'll be so easy and quick if you have it already on the back, a little bit about yourself, you know, a picture of yourself, and information a little bit about you, and then the picture on the front if you decide to put a picture of yourself in the front. Excuse me. Okay? But make sure you put a picture of it. If you don't put a picture of yourself in the front, make sure you put it on the back. And information about who you are. People want to identify a book with a face. And if they are not that type, I'm definitely one of those types. I want to know who wrote something that I am enjoying reading. Okay? Let me see. A lot of people that I know who have written a book like Until, you know, let's see, Until Dirt Becomes My Rooftop, a hollowboard story. Like, you see, you got this young man on here. People who like that, you know, hollowboy story, hood stories, they would love and think that this cover is so nice. And then you got the name, title of the book, and then you got the person who wrote it. See that? Nice cover. A little bit about the author. Picture of the author. You know? I love it. And before I go any further, I want to talk about this too. In a lot of books, you'll have books that have where it's over, you know, the name of the book, all throughout the book. That's what they're doing now, this new thing that they, that I think is very powerful too, to continue to repeat the title, So while you're reading, it kind of keep you connected with what the book is about and the title. As you're reading it, you continue to see the title, so the information in the book is referring to that title. Okay, so you'll see Overlooked Angels, okay? My title of my book, Overlooked Angels. And you'll see it dab in on every other page or every page, even sometimes at the bottom, you'll see it at the top on every other page or, at the bottom. However, but it's keeping it repeated for you to know, okay, the title. Let you know what this book is about, keeping you pointed in the right direction with the title and what the book is about. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, the barcode and the ISBN number. See, the ISBN number, I might be a little bit all over the place, but I hope that you learn from this whole breakdown, because I'm going to show you with books as I go. Okay, you see this barcode? ISBN number, unless you are a self-publisher, then it's sometimes a little bit different. You may not have a barcode on the back of your book because you self-published your book, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But if you was to die, and I'm going to say this legendarily, okay? You are a legend to your own product, yourself, and whatever you put out in this world. And whatever you leave behind is your legacy. And you want people to be able to find you. Kind of like on YouTube, the pastor, the bishop that died, what was his name? I can't think of him right now. But it's a lot of them that after they've died and gone on, their videos and their teachings are still playing. See, so whatever you put out in the universe, you want to be identified and found. Okay, like with Amazon and with a lot of book publishing companies, statewide, you want to be able to have this ISBN number, and that identifies with this book. And guess what else? Your name. You are now legendary. Anybody in the world, even after you have been dead and gone, can find you. Your children will get your royalties. Your children, things will be passed on legendary in this world. When you have something to identify yourself and be able to be found. This ISBN number with this barcode, you'll always be located. I am now legendary to this book. Overlooked Angels and legendary in this world because of this barcode. This ISBN number, which stands for, International Standard Book Number. International, okay? That means global, all over the world. You are now legendary. You have put something, embedded something in this world with your name on it. You're no longer you're not anybody anymore. You're somebody with a product out there that even after you are dead and gone, people can find you and buy your stuff on the internet. People can locate you and buy your stuff on the internet. It can pass down to your children's children, your family, the royalties of what people buy. Come on, somebody. It's international, it's global. Okay, next thing. All right. But if you're doing it self-published, you can always get it connected with the state as a business, and you can begin to help people put ISBN numbers. You know, you can find this book, but you'll have to find it through this young lady. Okay? Whatsoever Speaks. Okay? By Natalie Jones. But you would have to locate her to find it. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That means all her money coming straight to her. I think self-published is still good because all the money is coming to you. Okay, I'm back. Making sure that the pages are edited, well. That you don't have any misspelled words, or you're making sure that things are flowing word for word. You're not sounding like a run-on sentence. So make sure you pay your editor. Because they know what they know what they're doing to make sure your book flows word for word. Okay? And making sure your book and your table of contents. Some editors don't make sure that the table of content flows with the whole book itself. But it's better to get an editor that does, that makes sure that your book is flowing from the table of contents, from the title, everything on down to the end of the book. Because you don't want your book looking messy. No, you want it to look good. So if you have a great editor, they're going to make sure that everything flows. Everything from beginning to end. Misspelled words, they're going to do, check the spelling. Make sure everything is good to go. And the sentences are flowing. Okay. Illustrators. Unless you are a person that draws, I'm going to say what an illustrator is. An illustrator is a person who draws or creates pictures for magazines, books, advertising, etc. Okay? And this person also, you pay up front. They don't get any credit for writing your book. No. You pay them up front. Okay? I'm teaching you this so nobody don't push over on you when you are a new beginning book author. Some people, when they think, they say you don't know something, they'll try, because they see you don't know something, they might try you with a little something, then this and that. No. You pay them up front to do all that, the drawings. Okay? Just like you do with the editor. A lot of times people don't do illustrations unless it's in a children's book, but I have seen where you have some chapter books or books that are thicker have a few drawings here and there to follow along with the text so that you will know what's going on, to give you a visual, and they think that is a great tool to help you follow along with what's going on in the book, which I'm one of those type of people when I'm reading children's books, like Bible children's book, like this one. I'll show you here, because I have books all over the place. Like, you want to get into the Bible, but sometimes it's not that easy to get into the Bible. I had these books for years. Okay, and I'm going to show you something. The picture helps me to actually get into the story a little more. It's not colorful here, but it still allows me to get into the story, the text. So sometimes black and white pictures or colorful pictures, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it helps me a little bit better, and you could be possibly the same way. And so you see this children's Bible book that I have. is a book that has more colorful pictures in it to go along with the text, and it helps me to remember what the story was about. And you could possibly be the same way. Okay? And that's what I did here in my children's book. You know, I kind of just did pictures. See, even the it's colorful. This is my book also. You can get it from anywhere online. Any bookstore online. Okay, it's called The Little Fritter Counters. And see, just a little colorful pictures to help children learn how to count with a little bit of color. You see? Just to give you a little bit of what I'm trying to say by illustrations. You know, whether it's in a thicker book or what have you. You know, I wanted to see if this book had it. I don't see it in there. Okay. Table of contents. Table of contents break down each and every section that is going on in the book to help you flow with reading and knowing how to get to these chapters, and the name of the chapter is so important with the number. So important. It keeps you from being all over the place. Okay? And now, okay, in the back of the book, make sure you have information, you know, about the author, on how people can find you through an email. It could be, you know, even with your email, it could be in the front. You see? Make sure also, before I go any further, I usually put all my information, and most people do, information to find them in the back of their book. Now, to go back to the copyrights, a little information I want to say. Like, whatever year that you do your copyright, make sure it has copyright. I want you to see this. Okay? See? It says copyright 2019. Meaning this is when I wrote this book. It was in 2019. It's 2020 now. So I wrote this book and wrote it back in 2019. The text of this whole book. Okay? Let's see. I copywrote this book. Let's see, excuse me. Copyright. And right after you see the copyright, you're going to see the information of the state law of copyright, you know, for the author and the publisher. It's, you know, to not be able to steal anything from the book, you know, without the author or publisher's permission, which is an agreement between the author and the publisher, or just the author alone. Okay, so by the state law. So you see this? It's a copyright 2012. Okay? By Quatessa Williams. So, you have to have the copyright and then the year of which you copyright the book. The whole text. All the text of the book. Information. I think I'm done. This is your girl, Miss Queen Q, a.k.a. Quatessa Williams. And this is how to write a book. Have a blessed day. Thank you. Like and subscribe to this video and share. Okay? And if you got any comments, you need any help with writing your book, I have some people that will definitely help you. I'm going to give you all their emails. Once you are serious, email me. I'm going to have that all down below on the video. my email so that you could be able to get in touch with me. And I have people, my team, that will definitely help you, okay? Which is Jeffrey White and Erica Simmons. They do a lot of different things. So if you have any questions, we would be glad to help you. All right, so email me at queenqsproductions@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Blessings.